Ja, too late. Guten Morgen alle. Ich bin Xavier Leroy, ein von den Professeuren von dem Institut. Wir sind sehr froh, hier alle zu sehen, live. Es ist so besonders. Ich fange an so auf Deutsch, aber manche von uns wahrscheinlich nur Englisch sprechen. I just have started a welcome saying hello and we are very happy to see you live all here. It's a very special moment. I have to share this now because it's so rare. And I want to start by asking who would not understand German? Okay. Und wer versteht kein Englisch? Okay. Yeah, so we will probably go back and forth. Some of us will speak in German and then translate, or some of us will speak like I do now. I will simply do it, the presentation in English. What we want to start the day with you today is to present each other. So maybe we can start by do a fast round of who, your name, and which program you will start to study in, or some of you have already studied but arrived just now. So just a little sentence, and then maybe after the team will present a bit more in detail what we do here, so you start to know us. So I'm Xavier Leroy. I'm a professor here at the Institute, and
take that off when I speak. Is the mic on? Yeah. I'm Gerald Ziegmond. I'm also a professor here at the Institute, one of 3 professors. Yeah, if we do that later, then I'll just pass on to Bernhard.
Hi, good morning, everybody. It's so nice to have you here. My name is Bernhard. I'm research and teaching assistant to Xavier, together with Livia, and yeah, I will explain a little bit more what I concentrate on and what I'm responsible for later on.
Hi everyone, I'm Zoe and I'm studying the Bachelor in ATW.
My name is Lily and I'm also starting Bachelor ATW.
Hi, my name is Susanna Schönberg. I'm going to stay here for this semester as an artist professor.
Hi, my name is Eileen and I'm starting Bachelor ATW.
Hello. Maybe put the disinfection thingies in the middle. No?
Yeah.
Okay, hi, I'm Eva. I'm a recent research assistant of Gerald Ziegmond, so we are for the more theoretical part of the study programs. And I'm on a postdoc level, and that's it for the moment.
Does it work? No. But it doesn't work. Now, yes, now, okay. Hello, my name is Martina, and yeah, I'm a teaching and research assistant in the MA CUP, and will tell you a little bit later more.
Hello, I'm Annika, and I'm also starting the Bachelor in ATW.
Hello, my name's Hannah and I'm studying MA CUP.
Hello. Okay.
Hello, my name is Livia. I'm also teaching and doing research in the artistic practice part of the team, so with Bernard and Xavier, and yeah, the rest will come later.
Hello, I'm Franziska, and for this semester I'm a guest professor here.
Hello, we met yesterday. I'm Luis, finishing my COOP studies.
Hello, I am Leon and I'm studying Bachelor's ATW.
Hello, I'm Marilena and I'm starting the COOP.
Hello, I am Lena and I'm Erasmus at the master programs.
Hello, I'm Rosanna or Rosa and I'm starting MA ATW.
Hi, I'm Anne and I will start the MA as well.
Hey, I'm Simon and I'm starting the Bachelor ATW too.
Hello, I'm Fabian, I'm starting Master ATW.
Hello, I'm Victor, I'm starting Bachelor ATW.
Hello, I'm Adrian, or just Adi, preferably. I'm also starting the BA.
Hi, I'm Marte and I'm also starting the BA in ATW.
Hello, I'm Mai and I'm starting the master program ATW.
Hey, the name's Benny, also Bachelor ATW.
Hi, I'm Vida. I'm an Erasmus student at the ATW.
Hi, I'm Marta. I'm also an Erasmus student on the bachelor level of ATW.
Hello, I'm Bella and I'm starting the master ATW.
Hi, I'm Betty and I'm also starting the bachelor. Yes.
Hello, I'm Mikos and I'm starting BA ATW and I'm grateful to be here.
Hello, my name is Jacien. I'm a postdoctoral researcher with Monsieur Leroy. I'm from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
Hello, I'm Teta Marie and I'm started in COOP.
Hi, my name is Laura. I'm starting COOP as well.
Hi, I'm Louis and I'm starting BA ATW as well.
Hi, my name is Charlotte and I'm starting my bachelor's in ATW too.
Hello, I'm Alex and I'm also starting the BA in ATW.
Hi, I'm Esther and I'm also starting the BA ATW.
Hello, my name is Islam and I've been doing some courses online for the last year, but I'm officially starting COOP now.
Hi, my name is Patrick. I just finished studying COOP this past semester and I'm continuing to do some administrative work and some teaching support at the Institute.
Hello. Should I continue or? Yeah. So what we have thought about that it's that we will each one present what we do in the institute, and so I'm the one who will start. I am, as I say, professor here with a focus on performing art praxis. And I work together with the whole team. I would say I think everyone will understand that we are working very collectively, although we are responsible for certain things, but everything is very much discussed between everyone. And more especially, so I work with Livia and Bernard. And I am here in the Institute since April 2018, so not so long ago, and I always still, this year I will say I'm still learning how to do this work, which is still new for me, as I had not be involved in any university program on the long run before this work. I am doing art, I'm making art. I like to quote my friend Baltesari, I'm making art. I'm making art. I'm making art. So that's that was valid in the 70s. Maybe now we have to be a bit more complex with this gesture. But that's what I did before entering the institute. So I was mainly involved in the field of choreography, but with the understanding that is very wide, and as the term has come in the years, extended choreography. I think I've been very much part of this understanding. So working a lot in theaters, but lately my practice as more be involved in exhibition spaces, museum, also public space, which are places that I am more interested in my works lately. So that's maybe a focus, and I will probably share this for sure in the course that I do. It's very difficult to sum up of what one does in a couple of sentences. So this interest in other places than the theater as we know it is definitely something that I'm very interested in and working on. We have done together with Gerald a seminar about the understanding of situations that make art, or art that makes situations, and I would say this is very much one of my interests also in making art at the moment. And the other interest that is going on since a while, which I would put under the term embodiment. So the notion of embodiment is something that I am searching in my work, the different ways of this, and how performing arts is a manner to work on this understanding of embodying a character. So Hamlet, an actor performing Hamlet embodies something that makes it possible for him or her to perform Hamlet. But I'd like to put this conscious process of embodiment that performing arts is working on with maybe a less conscious one, which is, for example, that we all sit on chairs like this, and none of us came in the room and put himself like this under the chair. So that's another embodiment level that we have, which is the everyday embodiment. And I like to lately try to understand what are the relationship between what I would call very shortly an unconscious embodiment that is part of our building up of as a subject, and the conscious embodiments that are at stake when we decide to perform something. So to put it together as short as possible, that would be the description of my current personal research. So this stay in relationship to the program. So I do two seminars per semester. Next semester I will be in parental leave, so I will not do this seminar, but Susanne Schönberg, who is here with us, is replacing me and will take care of these two seminars. And anyway, Bernard and Livia are here, and you will be very well taken care of for all what's considered the practice in the institute. But I will come back. So we will see each other, and maybe I can say that in general I propose 2 different kind of seminars. One seminar that proposed to work and start to work with your ideas or your works, so what you are busy with in the moment. And we try as a group to work on the works of others, and this has different way of being done, but the main point is that I don't come with saying, let's work on this, but you come and you have each of you a question, a desire, or a work that you have already done but you want to rework on, etc. And that's what we try to work. So it's from you to the group. And then the other seminar that I propose is proposing a certain concept or idea or structure that we work on together. With for me, in this seminar, in both it's the case, but it's in the second one I describe now, one of the main curiosity that I have, and it's also, I think, a problem in a good sense for the study here, is many of you come here, as I understood through my last 3 years here, to become artists or to make something with art. And when you come to do this, very often it comes from an individual desire and curiosity. The question is, how do we work on this individual desire and curiosity to make your art, even if it's with other, but how we do when we are 20 with different curiosity and different desire and different ideas, and probably also on art, to make it together. And that's an equation that is interesting for me to think together with you and to try to make something out of this question. So not only to make it possible that you find your way to make the art that you don't know yet that you will make, but also how can we make something that you also don't know and I don't know and we don't know that we can do, because we don't know with who we will be. And that's a very important question for me in maybe a longer term of what art making means in our days in relationship to the tension between individual and collective. So I think it's enough for a general idea.
Okay, you can hear. I can hear myself. So I'm in a very different position as Xavier. In fact, I would say I'm staying here for the visual art, but in fact there are a lot of connection, or I can interface very well to what Xavier just explained about his focus. And he told me already also of this sensibility for the contextualization of individual work. And so I decided to use the courses on my way, but respecting this, of course. I'm always interested to support the questioning and the sketches students have. And both courses will have this moment that we try to spot the real interest of the participants, and they won't be asked to do something which is absolutely strange in respect of what you are working on. And so the courses will try to integrate your personal interest into the matter of the course. And both are referring to the idea of transfer. One course is much more about the subject or the question of intersubjectivity. So who is the we when someone is doing art and someone is watching to art? And the second one is more on the same category, but much more focused on technique. I'm working very much on going out from this image of setup, that you have something which is connecting action with something different, like matter, technical, almost technical matter. And yes, and I'm very ambitious in concern of final presentations. And because of the fact that I'm very sensitive for transcultural work and transdisciplinary work, the very ambition from my part, my personal motivation, is, I have to tell you, because you have to support it somehow, is to find new formats, to find a very new, not because of the idea of renewing format in general, but because I think that every working group or every pool of work is able to develop one specific, a kind of very specific format, which is not, which is not to be declared as a showing or something performative. So just something new in relation to space and time and attitude. So, is there anything important? No. And I'm going to explain a little more today in the afternoon. So if you want to join, I would be happy to see you later.
Okay, then I will continue. My name is Gerald Ziegmond. I am professor here at the Institute, and my part in this whole setup is the scholarly work, the Theaterwissenschaft, so the scholarly part of this whole enterprise of theater and dance. This is a university, although you've probably come here because you are interested in doing practical work, in trying out things on the stages in combination with, your ideas, trying to put them into practice. But nonetheless, I mean, it's a study program and it's university, so we have this second focus on Theaterwissenschaft. And as you might have noticed, or as you will notice, especially if you study in the BA, it's quite a lot of Wissenschaft to do. In the BA, the MA is structured slightly differently, but the BA program has more modules, theoretical scholarly modules, than practical ones. So this is an important part of what we offer, of our program, of what we want to give you, of what we want to share with you. So this is my responsibility. My background is actually in literature and theater. There were no theater departments in the early 80s when I started to study, so most of my generation of theater scholars, they came in via studying literature, German, English, French, or whatever. I was lucky enough that there was a minor program of theater studies in Frankfurt where I studied that was initiated at the time by Erika Fischer-Lichte, with whom I began my studies, before Hans Thies Lehmann, whom you might know, post-traumatic theater. If you don't now, you will learn about this very soon. So this is my way, the way I came into theater. I gave up literary studies and then switched into theater studies. As I said, I studied in Frankfurt. I have been here actually for quite a while. I started in 1998, so 23 years ago, as research assistant to a professor here. I then took my second degree, my Habilitation, in 2005. I went to Switzerland, to Bern, for 4 years and returned here to Gießen as a professor in 2009. So in this function as professor, I've been here for almost 13 years. I actually started as professor for the then newly established choreography program, the KUP program, which I ran for 3 years. And then that's already shows you or tells you something about my research interest. One of them very strongly is dance, is not only contemporary dance, but recent developments in dance, where, you know, I share with Xavier also an interest in what he said, the situation, artwork as situation. So I came in via the dance program and then transferred into the theater program in 2000 and I think it was 11 or 12 or something. So anyway, quite a while ago. So this is my background. I also, for a time, was working as a reviewer for dance and theater magazines, which I still do sometimes when I'm explicitly asked and invited to do something or to write something. So for a long time, I actually wrote reviews on performances. On performances that nobody else wanted to review, meaning, no, but that was true. I mean, performances at the time that were, you know, not considered to be really dance, but more experimental, performances that were not really considered theater because nobody used the dramatic text. And then, you know, at the time, all the newspaper reviewers didn't know what to do with this kind of art or with those recent developments. There is no text, it's not theater, we can't review it. It's not ballet or contemporary, we can't review it because it's not dance. So hey, here I was, and I had some ideas of how to review and how to understand these recent developments, you know, where genres suddenly evaporated, where, you know, work was done that cut across the disciplines, the established disciplines, which is quite familiar to us now, 30 years, 25 years later, but at the time, it was fairly new, actually, especially here in the German context, in the German-speaking countries, with their very established theater and Stadttheater institutions. So I'm still interested in recent developments in theater and dance. My 2 research projects that are quite very well mirrored in what I actually do this semester is I'm part of a research group which is actually based at the LMU in Munich. Krisengefüge der darstellenden Künste, so crisis, I don't know how to actually translate, Krisengefüge, it's a very neat German word. So anyway, something about relations and crisis of institutionalized theater, where we work with, there are 7 projects that make up this group, most of them work empirically, researching changes in the working conditions, changes in the financial structure of theaters, changes in expectations groups have in relation to established theaters. So this is you know, what I've been doing for the past 4 years. We have one project here with Benjamin Hirsch, who is part of this research project under my supervision. And you will get to know a little bit about this in one of my seminars, Organisation, Institution, Theater, so organization, institution, which is not the same thing, and theater, where we will deal with the institutional side of theater. The second project is developed out of this idea that, you know, how can we actually analyze as scholars, as theater scholars, how can we actually come to terms with these developments in recent artistic work, where it becomes apparent that, you know, it might not be enough to just analyze a performance, eine Aufführung, although we will also do that, obviously. But we need to have a broader picture of how this Aufführung, this performance, is situated also in an institutionalized context, in the context of a discourse. And we came up with this project, Theater als Dispositiv, theater as a dispositive or apparatus, as the old translation of this Foucauldian term goes. And you can learn a little bit about this in my second seminar, Theater als Dispositiv, where I will introduce some of the ideas and see how far this will take us. I'm not sure where it will lead, but we'll try. So it's also a little bit of a research enterprise in this seminar. Then the third thing I'll be doing is, especially for the BAs, so if you're starting your BA ATW, you will meet me once a week for the Aufführungsanalyse, for the performance analysis seminar, which I like doing very much, because theater studies, or the reinvention of theater studies in the late 70s, early 80s, was defined by taking a performance, Aufführung, as the main object of scholarly interest. So what theater studies do, or what theater scholars do, is they analyze performances, as opposed to literary scholars who analyze dramatic texts. So already there you have this sort of also institutionally very important divide between this is what the literature people do, this is what the theater people do. Yeah? So it's the Aufführung, the actual performance in situ in the theater that's been theorized, that's been analyzed, that's been historically described, and so on and so forth. So one of the important, and that's why it's the introductory course for the BAs, is actually how do we analyze performances. So you will get to know, hopefully, 2 or 3 theories, 2 or 3 methodologies of how to approach performances. We will discuss this with some older examples you probably don't know, which is also, why should we take something more contemporary for the seminar? We'll go back to old-fashioned theater. This also serves not only as an introduction to, you know, how to analyze performances, what to look at, you know, what consequences does it have. It also serves a little bit as an introduction to 3 very important theories: semiotics, post-structuralism, and phenomenology, that somehow form the canon of theoretical framework still today for theater studies, for performance analysis. So it's also a little introduction into what these theories actually want and say, and, you know, what do they do, and especially important, what don't they do? You know, where does it end? Where does it stop? So this we will find out together in the Aufführungsanalyse seminar. Genau, and there's a 4th one I'll do, but I think I'll leave that to you, Bernhard, because we need another voice here. Thank you. I'll come back to you later, maybe with some more information about the whole organization. Okay, thanks for the time being.
Danke, Johannes. Thanks, Gerald. And then I'll take over, and I need my little script because otherwise I forget what I want to say. My name's Bernhard Ziebert. As you know, I've started to work here as a research assistant and a teaching assistant, first for Professor Heiner Goebbels, who worked here for a long time, and now I switched some years ago, and I can work for Xavier. My background is a little bit different. I also did theater and journalism studies. I did that in Vienna, But then I went on to working in theaters, mostly for press and public relations. I did that in Berlin at Sophiensäle, which is a co-production house in the very old city center of Berlin. And then I went on to work as a press officer for a theater in Zurich, which is called Theater Neumarkt. And then I decided that I wanted to get back into academia, which is also a switch that was somehow difficult for me, because then I realized that I also needed some money to live, and I tried to balance it out, and I'm very happy with the choice, but it's also, it still feels a little strange. My research here concentrates on theater machinery, but also on games and their rules. But I've also given courses on the representation of explicit violence, on dramatic literature from German Romanticism. So I've also read a lot of dramatic texts with the colleagues, and also on the idea of performance as a tactical and strategic tool. And this winter semester, as Gerald said, I will have a course together with Gerald. We will do the introductory course for the MA students. And this is a course that invites all of you who are starting in the MA RTV to come together to study with those who already did their BA here and are switching over to the MA program. The course comes out of the wish of the students who did their MA here, who told us when we asked them that they wanted to have a little, that when they arrived they felt a little bit lost. And then we said, okay, maybe we need a course that brings together the people who start in the BA. And we decided that we want to give it, we talked a lot in the last days, and we want to give it more the form of a seminar, because we can't really do so much art with you, as we are both mostly working in a scholarly fashion. And we will try to read actual and recent texts together with you. We will also look at what all of the different people from the team that are sitting here now with you are working on at the moment, what they are writing about, what their thoughts are. And we will also want to go to the theater together with you and to try yourselves out in writing and maybe giving artistic answers to what we have to propose. So let's see how that works. It will be a 4-hour course that is on Tuesday afternoon. When planning this course, I had to think about a seminar that I had offered together with my colleague Eva here 2 years ago, and before the pandemic. The title of the seminar was Planning an Opening, and together with the students we were discussing which event would be the best to open up this newly built rehearsal stage and its facilities to the public. Which gesture would be a good one? The opening was planned for spring 2020, so there was talk about doing it in April maybe or in June, and then it never happened because, of course, COVID-19 pandemic hit the globe, and all our plans and the people that we had invited and so on, we could put directly into the dustbin. We had to recalibrate somehow. This was what I was thinking in the last days. And then I thought, okay, recalibrating is something that I was coming across when looking into technology, when it comes to look at how we deal with the maintenance of different technical equipment, readjust the tools that we have. And then I realized that I didn't even know what recalibrate means or where it comes from. And I looked it up in an etymological etymological lexic, and it said that it's could be translated as determining the relative value of different parts of a scale. So a scale that is giving us information about the value and the weight of something that we put into has to be, of course, recalibrated, readjusted every time. How can we know that the things we put onto the stage right now have the right value, the right weight, and the right impact for this moment? This is something that I'm busy with. It comes very close in my technological interests with what Gerald will be talking about, or is talking about, or is busy with when he talks about the theater as an apparatus or a dispositive, because this is really what is at stake from a scholarly but also from an artistic point of view, I think. What is theater worth, and how will it be discussed in the next weeks and months? And I think it will also be part of your ideas and your discussions here. What do you want to do? How do you see things, and how do you want to shape the discourse about this? Because this is what you will be able to do also in the next semesters here. I think this is an emotional task, so in a way of feeling what feels right now, what's feeling okay for those who watch things or who do things. But I think it's also a rational and a scholarly task. I think we can really do a lot with analysis here. The question will be, how will theaters and institutions go forward with their reopening, and how will the cultural systems be recalibrating, if at all? And what we'll be able to say about this reopening and recalibrating from an academic point of view, but also from an artistic point of view. In order to find this out over the course of the next months, you might be able to get an opinion when looking very closely at what happens here in Gießen, for example, in the Discourse Festival that started yesterday in Prototyp, where I also saw a lot of you. But please use the time also to have a look at the network that our department is embedded in and entangled with. Have a look around digitally and physically on what happens in adjacent places, in the theaters and cultural venues in Frankfurt and in Marburg and in Kassel and in Wiesbaden, and really use your student ID to take the train and to go around. What I want to remind you at this moment is that the Institute itself has some long-term cooperation partners that might help you on different levels, and that might also offer programs that you might be interested in. And I will point out two networks specifically. The first one is called HTR, which is short for Hessische Theaterakademie or Hessian Theater Academy. What is called an academy here is actually not to be found in one building alone, but it is rather a network including the arts high schools in the region on the one hand, and a lot of theaters on the other hand. And you will get from the HIVIs an ID card as a student in the frame of HTR. You will get this in the Mediathek if you ask. And with this card, you will have additional reductions and some advantages in the network partner theaters. And the second one on the media and film side is called HFMR, which is the Hessian Film and Media Academy. It is a network that is trying to put together all those schools and all those institutions that work on film and media. And they also offer a broad additional program of courses and workshops that we maybe cannot offer to you, but you maybe want to choose in the semester breaks or whenever. So what's my responsibility here is a little bit that I'm an international coordinator for those who want to do an Erasmus year abroad or a semester abroad. And I'm very happy that it was possible for Lene and for Vida and for Marta and for Leon to be here. I was super unsure if this would work this semester, but I'm happy to see you, and I think it's great that you took the courage also to come here and to study with us. We will see each other later at 2 o'clock in our office building, and we will do a Q&A with all of the questions that you have, because I know that you have a lot, but maybe we can solve them in a small group. I will also send around, for those who want to go abroad, maybe next year or in 2 years, I will offer an information day or an information evening on the Erasmus program and about other international programs. And I will send an email around in some days for an invitation end of November, where we can come together digitally, and I will explain to you how that works, and I will help you there. I wanted to say that this is a lot of information and everybody's putting his point of view on the table here. I wanted to say that I give you the advice to try to go step by step with everything. Please get in touch with the team here, with the HEVs or with the student representatives in case you encounter any problems or difficulties. I think, especially at these pandemic times, it might be super difficult to start the studies and you might face some problems. Don't keep it with yourselves. Go out, find somebody you can talk with. We are here to listen to you. The older students are here to listen to you. There's a lot of facilities also at the university who can help you. And we will be very happy to guide you through this fall and through this first study year. So this fall might mean a lot of reopening and recalibrating for all of you as well, and I wish you all the best for it.
Yes? Yeah, cool. Okay, hi again. I'm Eva, just to say it again. And I think I'm also somehow the dinosaur of the team. So last year I was saying the same, and then I got a prolongation of my contract due to Corona. So this will be my last year. For you it will be your first year, it will be my last. So maybe we cannot or will not get in touch that intensely as we wish to, but it's fine. Times change, everything changes, so don't be afraid. And I also was somehow very strongly, let's say, brainwashed by theater studies in this crazy Hessen, Frankfurt, Gießen region by Gerald Ziegmond, Sondi Finter, Goebbels, Xavier. So I'm very influenced by this theater study universe, let's say, because it somehow answered to my needs. And maybe this is interesting for you because you are, or many of you are starting right now to find that out, what is my interest. And for me, I was really at some point, I don't know, maybe it was the 6th semester, I finished my Magister noch in 2004 and then worked a lot. I got to know Susanna and Franziska at the Kunsthochschule für Medien and worked more practically. Then I came back to university and started working here in 2010. So that makes 11th times that I'm doing this speech. And now I can say what my needs were or my questions and why theater studies answered so well to them. Because I somehow find out that with theater studies you can analyze everything. It's so cool because in theater you can use, you can have material stuff, technology, like everything, and it's so close to every other social situation with all the interaction and stuff that you get very sensitive to all that mise en scène or staging that's happening around. So in theater and outside theater. And first the big question was, so why do I love going to the theater? I actually never go to the movies. I don't know, it's not for me, but I love going to the theater, and with my scholarly development, I got the chance to find out why. And I wish you the same, that you find your interest and you find out why you have this interest and what could be the answers to this interest. And I will be doing the Aufführungsanalyse-Übung, which is closely connected to Gerald's Aufführungsanalyse-Seminar. And we will go together to the theater and find out what questions we have. We will try to approach this somehow also very demanding field of theater studies, all the theoretical stuff, all those words with P, post, prophetic, phenomenological, semionologic thing. And I'm starting to do that in my one course on a very low level with you. So it's no problem if you never heard of Hans-Thies Lehmann or if you heard everything from him. We will try really to get into a dialogue and to meet and to create a space where we can talk and where we can, or maybe you more than me, can find your way of expression and verbalization and also writing. Because writing is a big part of theater studies, of analysis, and it's really fun. But it takes time to find that out, how it can be fun. So this is also an invitation to start this and to meet regularly in this course, to go to the theater, to be open and also question everything and don't be shy. And also we can talk there about organizational stuff or worries. It's very confusing the first semester, so just go with the flow. I'm also doing a second seminar always, which is more distanced from a BA level of approach to something. And normally I choose some weird word or concept, more philosophical one, like, I don't know, not understanding or affirmation, stuff like that. And create a space where we could find out how that could come together with artistic theater practices. But I won't be doing this semester. I try this time to answer to a demand that is strongly felt by me for getting to know other things than European theater. It's I think it makes also sense that you are here in Gießen and you try to approach all this field from this point on. What is the historical background? Why do we have this kind of theater? Why is Gießen Stadttheater looking like that and stuff? But at the same time, it's very Eurocentristic and things like that are luckily very criticized at the moment. And so I was wondering at some point what would an introductory seminar would look like if you would do it with international texts, like from every country maybe. I don't know all theater traditions from everywhere, so I would like to start to collect. And okay, I know some, but you know also some, so this is would be interesting, and I have really no clue how this will work out. Try to get a collection of introductory theater texts from other countries. Let's say it like this. Really the course will consist of probably sitting together, surfing the internet, trying to find people to contact, trying to find texts, trying to find translations, probably. So these will be my 2 courses this semester. And I'm also very involved in the organization of the BA study program, so maybe you will meet me the most, because if you have any questions about the study structure, Scheine, whatever, you would approach me for 1 year. So this is a good idea. We have several persons who are responsible for several things, and Gerald is more the person to speak with for the MA ATW people, and I'm for the BA, and the CUP people are all in one person represented by Martina, who will speak to you in a moment. And that's also why I will meet you BAs at 2 o'clock here again, and we will go through the Studienordnung one first time so that you get to know her and how she speaks to you. Okay, and nice to see you all here. Du kannst dir ein Dings holen oder das so nehmen. Mein oranges kannst du nicht haben. Das hängt an mir.
So also hello from my side. Again, my name is Martina. And as I said already, I'm a teaching and research assistant in the MA CUP program. And before I will say something about myself, I want to apologize my two colleagues who unfortunately cannot be here today, and they are very sorry about that. Rose Beermann and Bojana Kunst couldn't come today for different reasons, but I'm sure you will get to know them soon. Rose Beermann, I think most of the CUP students were already in contact with via emails. And Bojana Kunst will somehow introduce herself today to you. She will be present virtually. So that would be also my question now in the beginning to all the CUP students. Would it work for you that we gather in a small group, only the CUP students, at 1:30 again? Would that work for everyone? Or is it a problem for anybody? Super. There's another course starting, but I don't know at what time. Today? Another course, But it's not for CUP. No. Super. Then we will gather in the small group, only the new CUP students at 1:30 here again. And then Bojana Kunst will also talk with us via Skype and will introduce herself to you. So now it's clear already that we are, so to say, 3 members of staff in the CUP program here. Bojana Kunst is the professor and head of the program, and Rose Beermann and me are both teaching and research assistants. I'm working here at the Institute since 2016. And before that, I already during the years of my studies, I somehow found myself constantly at the place between theory and artistic practice, or I could also say I was constantly trying to be on both sides at the same time. And in a way, this is what stayed. So I think after studying both artistic practice, I studied performance and choreography and theory. I learned to cherish this intersection of theory and practice as a particularly interesting and exciting place to be, or habitat to explore. And this is also the reason why I came here to Gießen, which I think is a place where exactly this intersection is cultivated and valued somehow. Since I'm like, after my studies, I was both working as an artist, as a freelance choreographer, but at the same time also as a writer and theoretician. I was for some time working at the Tanzquartier in Vienna, and also teaching at various places, but since I came here, I very much focused on research, which then led to a PhD that I finished last year, and in which I somehow wrote about the relation of human and non-human bodies in recent choreographies, because I think that that there is a shift going on in the last 10 years in a lot of performances that I see. I was very much busy in my research with performances that somehow raise or that imply ecological questions, in the sense that they thematize in some way the relation of, the relation of the human being and the material basis of existence of these beings, which is a very recent topic, in my opinion, that is explored in choreographies, because that is somehow traditionally, it was choreography and dance was very much focused on the human body, the relations of human bodies and the movement capacities of human bodies. So in my research I was very much dealing with the non-human bodies in recent works. And here at the Institute I'm offering both a practical course and a theoretical one. The seminar in this semester will, I could say the seminar is more theoretical practical, the other one more practical theoretical maybe. And the seminar will be focused on the practice of dramaturgy and what that could be and what that is for different people. And the practical course I will offer together with Rose Beermann, a scenic project that will explore the question, who is we? And in which we intend to, this somehow echoes a little bit what was already mentioned in the beginning by Xavier and others. So in this practical course, it will be very much about sensing the differences and maybe discovering some commonalities in the group of people that we will be in the scenic project. Besides the courses, I'm doing a lot of mentoring of artistic processes, not only for the final MA works, but also during your studies. If you are working on a certain thing and you have a wish for somebody who is not directly involved in your project, but you would like to enter a dialogue with somebody about it, you can always contact me. Also, if you are an ATW student, if time capacities allows, then I will. Then we will meet, and I'm very happy to enter a dialogue with you about your process or about the thing you are working on or were working on or intend to work on, however, in whichever stage of the work you are. And about the rough proposals, I think we will rather speak then in the afternoon. So there is a festival that I realized together with the students who are in the COOP program, which is called Rough Proposals, but about this I will explain more later, I think. But in general, I'm very much encouraging you also to, to explore these inputs on both sides here in Gießen, both on the theoretical side and on the side of artistic practice, and to explore these inputs in a way beyond application. So that this institute is called Institute for Applied Theater Studies, But in my opinion, and I think my colleagues would agree, but disagree if not, this applied is a little bit outdated, yeah, because it somehow suggests that there is a kind of instrumental relationship, that there is some kind of theory that should then be applied in the practice or in the project, which I think is a very simplistic or old-fashioned way of looking at the relation of theory and practice. I think there is a much more complex relationship at work, and yeah, I'm looking forward to discuss about this with you.
It's wieder aus. Your dissertation just won a prize, isn't it so?
Hello, does it work? No, yes, yes, great. Now I hear it. I also repeat again my name, which is Livia Andrea Piazza, and well, the question is a bit like, yeah, how did I get here and what do I do here? Which I will try to reply. How did I get here is starting studying economics and management of the arts in Milan. And after that, I did a PhD in cultural studies in Lüneburg. And that different things happen, but let's say that during these things I always had a very close relationship to theater and dance and theater institutions and festivals. I always worked together with, also during the PhD, and so I also enjoyed a lot the intersection between the theory and the practice. But the practice in my case is only partially connected to what happens on stage. I did do some dramaturgical work, but my practice to add another layer of complexity is what regards maybe more the organizational, the curational, and also, yeah, the institutional, that level of practice that is also part of what happens on stage, and especially how it happens on stage. And I arrived at the Institute in April 2019, so I could be here for about a year before the pandemic started, and then about another year in pandemic conditions. This means that I am maybe the most recent Mitarbeiterin, I think, in the team. Wissenschaftliche Mitarbeiterin in the team, and but this means also that I will stay longer than others. I'm also still a bit at the beginning, and here well, I take care of different things. Maybe some of those regard more the end of your studies rather than the beginning. So, for instance, I am responsible for ATW people who would like to finish their studies in collaboration with theaters. Of the theaters of the HTA, which Bernard just mentioned, I help them in this process. I also very much involved with guest professors, so it could be that I will ask you also some wishes for guest professors, and so we will get to know each other in these ways, but also, of course, in the seminars. I also try to combine theory and practice in the seminars, and one way for me of doing it, also to resonate with what has already been said, is to engage a lot in collective research processes when it comes also to theory, or to use tools and instruments that come from theory in the practice, or put in dialogue those that come from the practice more with theory, and see how these two attend to each other in complex ways. this semester, I am gonna offer a course that is called Unlearning Economies, because after all these years I felt that it was time to go back to economy. And in this course I'm interested to discover a bit with you what other kind of a notion of economy have been developed outside of the neoclassical economy, which is what we know most, and see how these other approaches to the economy, or these extended notions also of economy, are interesting for theater and dance engaged people. And I think that for now this is more than enough. And I give my mic to Franziska.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm also very new, like many of you here. First day, basically. I will give a course here that is called Places Where We Come Together. It's a szenisches Projekt, right? In which we will explore urban space, public space, from the perspective of sound and listening, and also develop together performances and scores for different places here. And I would like to explore with you together practices of walking and listening, attention-based scores, and so that is always on every Friday. A few words about myself. I'm an artist working, interdisciplinary, but often circling around questions related to sound and listening, or the trace and translation. And recently I'm also more and more interested in creating algorithms or scores for situations that have somehow gaps or holes that unpredictable things can appear, and encounters can happen on small scales, so they cannot be witnessed from a central perspective or from an outside perspective, actually. So everything happens within, and that's why I'm also really happy to be here, and hope also to learn from you too.
Hello. Hello, my name is Patrick again. And as I mentioned, I just recently graduated from the Cooper program this past summer. So you might see remnants of my master project by the Strahlenzentrum. It's one of our stages that we are just integrating into our institute. I was working with the interface kind of between culture and nature, and what this tension might be, and some what I called post-humanist ecological practices in that space. So it's a kind of durational project. So you might see that as you move into the institute. It's slowly rewilding at the moment. I'm here as a representative for Katharina Stephan. She's a wissenschaftliche Mitarbeiterin who recently had a child, and she's on parental leave. So for the last year, I've taken over some of her responsibilities, largely administrative and some teaching. And I'll continue to do this until the end of March, so the end of this semester, and then Katharina will return in the summer semester, so you'll have the chance to meet her. She's fantastic, and I think you'll really enjoy meeting her. I represent kind of the third pillar of this program, which hasn't been spoken about so much so far, but it's kind of the practical, technical work, the praktische Kurse that we have here at the Institute. And this includes the movement practice, which is actually kind of coordinated by Rosa Beermann, But we also have a course, for example, this semester on costume design and sewing, and another course on stage design, which I, alongside Bernhard, helped to coordinate. And we also have technical courses that are related really to the use of the stage, the technical equipment on the stage, light, sound, video, etc. And kind of I think in the conceptualization of this program, this is actually a very important element of the practice here and something that's very special about the Institute for Applied Theater Studies. We have kind of the opportunity here to engage really directly as students with the technical equipment and the technical aspects of making theater and making dance and making choreography and performance and so forth. And this is kind of, relates to aspects of integrating those techniques into your own work, especially in this kind of context where a lot of work is performed in a virtual context or a digital context where we're streaming or we're working with video directly in the development of our artwork, but also in a more classical sense if you're coming to the stage as a director or as a choreographer and you want to have kind of in the context of a classical theater and you want to stage your work. Part of the legacy of Heiner Goebbels, for example, is that having an understanding of how it works to work with light, what it means to work with sound, influences and kind of makes your relationship to making artwork richer and also more practical, a different relationship to technicians, a different relationship to the house, and how you relate to these kinds of spaces. So I do believe that this is a very valuable and important aspect of the studies that we have here, and I kind of represent that today. I won't be teaching myself this semester. I have taught some of these technical courses in the past. They're often taught by your fellow students, but not always. But I am coordinating kind of all of those technical courses that are being offered here, or practical courses that are being offered at the Institute. I also work really closely with the Technik-Kiwis, who have you already met or you will meet at some point this week. But we have student technicians who work here and run these stages and make sure that everything's functioning, and they're awesome, and I have been one of them, and now I'm working kind of closely with them to make sure these spaces are kind of functioning as well. I'd also like to represent today Dennis Becker. He's our technician. This is actually a new position for the Institute. For a long time, we didn't have any kind of official technician in our spaces, and it was all really student-run. But with the introduction of this space, the Theaterlabor, PB 3000, the university kind of really said, we need like someone who's really responsible. And that person is Dennis Becker. He's unfortunately ill today, so he couldn't be here. But he's fantastic, and he's here all the time. So you will meet him in the coming days. So I just want to say, I will be maybe a little bit more in the background this semester. We'll see each other for sure during the Technik Tutorium. You've all received an email, I think, from me regarding that. If you have any questions about that course or any other of these practical courses that are being offered, feel free to reach out to me. And welcome to the Institute.
I take this off, it's okay? To talk, we are allowed. Yeah. Thanks everyone. I think we have said a lot. It will be great to have a break, maybe, to breathe, but I had notes, but it's too much. But one thing that I realize that we do an introduction to all of you, because that also reflects how in general the institute function, that the most of the course are addressed to everyone, with some exception. So some courses are only for the BA, and some courses are only for the COUP MA ATV, and some courses are maybe only for the MA ATV. But these are rather exceptions, so that the construction of the study program is also done in a way and with the wish that that everyone can participate, but not everyone can participate because we are a lot, and that comes to another difficulty sometimes, that the course will require to make some choice between some that can take it and some that cannot take it in order to maintain the wish of certain. For example, when we have guest professor, that we invite them to come, and they say, I can and I wish to work with a group of 15 students. So we try to make it possible that is for 15 students, and that is possible for this guest professor to do what she or he can offer. So, but that's something I thought about, the fact that we introduce everyone at the same time, and we hear everyone. That makes sense for me in relationship to how the program is run. Another thing that maybe needs to be said again, in other words, have been said a little bit, but that it is, we are not an art academy. And that is very important to have in the spirit of and the way you work here, and maybe in relationship to expectations that one can have when one studied in art academy, and other expectations that one can have here. You have decided to study here, so I guess you made this choice also not to go there but to come here. But I like to repeat this in order that it is not to be taken for granted how that institute work in relationship between the praxis and the theory. We work on this, but there is also the expectations from us that you work on this from your side with this attention, that you have not chosen to go to an art academy where most of the time the individual is the first driving force. And I think one of the things that is very embedded in the history of this institute is that there is an interest in other ways of working but the individual, which doesn't exclude the individual. The individual has to be included in the collective, but I think here there is, from my perspective, and that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to work here, is that we look also at how the collective is included in the individual. So, and that has to do a lot with, for me, my observation of how an art academy function as I know them, and how the institute here work as I start to understand it. So I wanted to just have a general reminder of what I like to describe as something we need to cultivate. It's like a garden. It's something that is not so clear. It doesn't have very clear border. So it's not a French garden. Yeah, we look for, also not the English one. We look for, it's a garden that we need to make together. So that's very, I mean, that's dear to me to share. That's yeah, that's what we try to do together with you. It's good maybe to propose if people have, if you have questions that are burning, but either I don't know what time is it in our schedule. What is it? Can we have a little bit more energy for this round of if there are questions, and then we make a break? Yeah. So yes, if some of you have any kind of questions, please. Yeah. If you have thousands questions, pick one. It's better for everyone.
Yeah.
You can take it. This I give you.
I don't need the mic that long. One first question would be like to hear all of your names again, so because I didn't catch them all, and then in order to like know where I want to choose the course or something like that, would be nice to hear all of the names again. Sorry.
So I'm Xavier Leroy.
I'm Gerald Ziegmond.
I'm Bernard Ziebert.
Susanna Schönberg.
Eva Holling.
My name is Martina Rusam.
My name is Livia Andrea Piazza.
And my name is Franziska Windisch.
We are also on the website, so laisse tomber, it's not a problem.
Number 2. I'm Patrick. Whoa. I'm Patrick Farreau.
I have a question related to the coming study system. I think most of the time I heard that it will be a hybrid version of online and practical seminars and stuff. So is there already a concept we can look up the seminars? Is there a certain
You answer, yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a very good question. We have a concept. We are planning, I think, most of our courses in presence, but there is also a limit for the space we can use. So for now, we plan to do it in presence, but we don't know if it's possible, because if there will be too many people inscribed in the course, we have to very quickly switch to another idea. So this will be done end of this week or next Monday, when we really know how many people are really actually in the course. But we hope that our presence concept will be able to be practiced, and it also depends on the space. We have the theoretical scholarly seminars are in rather big spaces, so there could be up to 50 people. But the practical courses, in the sound studio, there is maybe 1 or 2 people possible. So it's up to the people who are teaching those courses to come up with a concept in case of overcrowdment. So there is still a lot of friction, and please just check every hour, not every hour, but recently if there are news, and we will also put everything in the Vorlesungsverzeichnis and send you emails and try to communicate, but it's also for us shaky. But yeah, we're holding on to this concept of seeing each other.
Okay, yeah, which just to add to what Eva just said, which is why it is important that you should register on Stut IP. I mean, you've probably been introduced or will be introduced to this system, because this is where we can check how many people are actually enrolling in this course, and then we can see if it fits the space. But So take this seriously, enroll, and even if you know, it's quite, customary for the first week, you enroll in too many courses, you just have, you snoop around, you have a look, you listen here and there, but which is perfectly fine. But if you then decide not to take a theoretical course, then please take yourselves off the list again in StudIP. So first, it's important to register so that we know how many people are actually interested and wanting to take the course. If you then decide it's not for you, you want to do something else, then please sign off. Yeah, so that we can have some kind of idea how many people are actually in the courses. And I can only underline what Eva said. After 2 or even 3 semesters of online teaching, mostly online teaching, we're all very, very eager to go back into the classrooms, meeting face to face, even though it probably will be with masks, but then we'll at least some step forward. Thank you.
I want to hear 5. It's me. So I want to add something to this about making the choice of the course. I have to share, I have at the beginning of my working time here suffered a lot of a way of doing which is to come the first day to the seminar, literally how I have learned to check the course, or to check, in that case I felt very checked, to check the person who gave the course, and then make the decision. Please, as far as you can, don't do this, because especially when I propose something, very often the group is something that I try to pay a lot of attention to. A group of 20 people is not the same than a group of 10 people, or eventually 5 at the end of the course. It's not the same question that one has about group. A couple is not the same as the people who decide to live 3 together. It's not the same. You have different set of relationship. And I hope that there is a recognition with this caring of relationship between each other. And another aspect that is for me talking for this, what I say, is when you go to a theater, do you decide after 5 minutes if you stay or not? Maybe yes. But usually a theater or a performance is intended to have a certain duration. After this duration, one can express, I felt this, I understood this, I thought it was not interesting, I thought it was interesting, I was taken by it, I was not taken by it. But you need to have this experience in order to be able to share the meaning you have received or not. In a seminar, the way I think seminar is also the same. It's not, so there is an introduction. The first day, we can do every time an introduction, but the game is there is an idea that is introduced and there is a proposal, and you sign for it or you don't sign for it. Sometimes you will not know more after 1, 2, or 3 classes. I don't think so. Or that's correspond to a certain idea of, and I like to say this very loud, in a workshop, there are 2 words, there is work and shop. And it's workshopping, it's not only shopping. And I tend to be in favor with working. And it might sound a little bit heavy like this, but I need to say this because I think it's very important to me for a certain ethic, a certain respect of the people between not only the difference between students and teachers, but also between everyone as a partner and working together on this. Other maybe questions or remark, or it's good to hear. Yes, very good. Now we'll do this like this. I learned the choreography. So I give you this.
Try not to drop it. So I have a question concerning the languages that the courses will be held in. So I discovered that on the website there are many courses that the name is held in English, but the description is in German. So as a non-German speaking person yet, I would like to ask you if in what language will they be held in? And that question concerns especially the course, the places we come together, and well, all of the others, because that will help me to decide a little bit more. And I guess that's it. Wait.
Yeah. So for my course, it will be in English. Yeah.
I can answer for all the courses that are offered by the COOP team. They are all in English. So from Rose, Bojana, and from me, all the courses are in English.
I think in general, the practical courses can be negotiated. It depends on the people that are collected in the end. And I think over there it's often also a mix. Because the structural problem is that you have to guarantee to the BA ATW that it can be studied in German. And on the other hand, you have to guarantee to the COOP people it must be studyable in English. So in some courses it's a mix. Some courses are really only in German, and then also the description is in German. But if there is somehow a mix in the description, like you described, it may be possible that it's also a mix in practice.
Hello, I'm Alex. I have a question on how it generally works with, for example, if you by yourself or with other people studying, you are working, for example, on a performance, and you would maybe like to actually do it in front, for example, the people in the institute. Just generally how that works, and if you can just go, for example, to you, the professor of the more artistic area, and yeah, just how that usually takes place, and what maybe who you should talk to, and just generally the system, maybe be very nice.
That's a great question. So generally, in non-pandemic times, you can just, if you want to organize a showing, you just organize a showing. So we'll discuss this at some point later during the introduction week, but there's a process in which we have this stage. We have a stage called the PB2. We have a new stage called the Strahlenzentrum. We have another stage that will be kind of transitioning in the way we're using it, but it's called GBS. And we have some ateliers and so forth. And all these spaces you can, we have a weekly process of distributing the use of these spaces. And when you have this space, you can use it for your personal research, you can use it for a collective rehearsal, you can also use it for a showing. And in general, if you want to show something in the Institute, you don't have to register it anywhere, you just invite the people you want to invite or invite the entire Institute or however. Of course, during the pandemic, we have restrictions on the number of people that can be in each of these spaces. That information is on the website, but we will also introduce this information to you. In general, for example, this space, there's a maximum capacity of 48 people. I think we might be right at the edge of that or a little bit over at the moment, but I'm not exactly sure. But in general, we have a new hygiene concept, which is that if you have a showing of an event with a kind of a public, there can be kind of a maximum of 24 people in the audience, so the half of the maximum capacity. But we'll introduce again all of these numbers, so don't feel like you have to hold on to them now. In general, if you have a larger event that's open to the public and not just to the Institute, then it's important to kind of make sure that that event is registered with the university and also with the technical team, kind of. For example, if it's your master performance and you have a larger audience or something like this, then you need to kind of check in with us. We'll go through kind of all these processes again. Just so that you know, as first-year students, you will first have access to these spaces once you've finished the introduction, the Technik Tutorium, or this introduction to the artistic work with light and sound on stage course. So in the first couple of weeks, you won't actually be able to work in these spaces until you've had this introduction. Does that answer everything?
More? Yeah, this works. So if for now maybe it's a good time to make a little break and also organize how we will continue. So there will be we will now make groups of BA, MA, ATW, and MA COUP, so called, in order to get more in detail of the program and share how it goes with you. And this will be done by different people. We will not be all present in all group. So I guess there will be a group with Martina. You for the COUP students, and I don't know at what time you will. I will give you the voice. You say when it will be. Eva and Bernard, you will do BA. Yeah. So they will also tell you. And Gerald will do the introduction, and I will accompany him to still learn how it functions. And for the MA ATW, and we would like to do this after a small break now, like 5 or 10 minutes, so that we just do this together, and we can meet. This we don't know where we can meet, but we will find out here according to when the BA and the COUP does. Yeah.
Check. The MA ATW will meet in minutes right here in the foyer. So don't go very far away. The COUP people will be meeting 1:30 here. The BA people will meet at 2 here. And then you have to be finished.
We will meet here, but in the foyer. So we will not be in this big space, but we will go upstairs.
Perfect.
And there's a fourth small group. I already hinted at that. All of the Erasmus incoming students meet with me at 2 p.m. in Gutenbergstraße number 6. And Jassian, if you want to join us, if you have the time, you are happily invited to come also. We can maybe share all of the questions that we have in this smaller group of international incomings.
So the MA ATW, as no one is there in this place in 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we can meet here. Because the next group is at 1:30, so we will be, for sure finished. So we will meet here, the MA ATW. We'll take a break, like 10 minutes. Let's say 5 after 12, we meet here.